Welcome, everyone. This is Mac with another N5 grammar lesson from JLPT Bootcamp. Last episode, we learned about wa, the tricky topic marking particle. Today, we're going to learn how to use ga, the subject marking particle. We're going to look at a few very short exchanges. Let's give it a try. Matt and you are in the park talking about the animals they see.
私は犬が好き。私は猫が好き。
Breaking that down, Matt starts with
私
I,
は
the topic marking particle, then
犬
dog,
が
the subject marking particle, and finally
好き。
liked. Altogether, he's saying, I like dogs. You responds by saying,
私
I,
は
the topic marking particle, then
猫
cat,
が
the subject marking particle, and finally
好き。
liked. Altogether, she says, I like cats. Matt and you are using one of the more common structures in Japanese, wa, ga. In the previous episode, we learned how the wa particle can be used to give a sentence context by putting it in a box. With this structure, we're adding a little more to that box. We're describing the fact that dogs are liked when talking about myself. This structure is commonly used to express a state in relation to a topic. Nothing is actually doing anything in the sentence. In the example above, we are expressing the state of Matt liking dogs. This is how this structure is commonly used at the N5 level, to express preferences or what you want to do. Let's give it a try right now. Can you say, I like pizza? So quickly again, I is
私
in Japanese, liked is,
好き。
and pizza is.
ピザ
Can you use the wa, ga structure to make the sentence? To say, I like pizza in Japanese, you would say,
私はピザが好きです。
breaking that down,
私
I,
は
the topic marking particle,
ピザ
pizza,
が
the subject marking particle, and finally,
好き
liked.
です。
Is not necessary, but it makes the whole sentence polite. And most of what you will hear on the N5 will be in this polite form. So again, you're putting the fact that pizza is liked inside the I box. Another way you will see this is describing what you want to do.
私はピザが食べたいです。
In the sentence above,
食べたい
means to want to eat. We will learn how to form the structure in a later video. For now, just remember that you commonly use the ga particle when using the tai form to express desires like this. It can also be used to express other states. For example, if you want to talk about the state of you understanding Japanese, you can say the following sentence.
私は日本語がわかります。
Breaking that down,
私
I,
は
the topic marking particle,
日本語
Japanese,
が
the subject marking particle, and finally,
わかります。
understand in the polite mas form. Going back to Matt and you, we see they're now eating their bento.
このお弁当はおいしいね。誰が作りましたか？お父さんが作りました。本当？
Breaking that down, Matt starts with
この
this,
お弁当
obento or boxed lunch, a packed lunch, then
は
the topic marking particle and
おいしい
delicious. In the next sentence, he says
誰
who,
が
the subject marking particle, and then
作りました
made, and finally
か
the question marking particle. Altogether, he says the bento is delicious. Who made it? You responds with
お父さん
father,
が
the subject marking particle marking the doer of the sentence, and finally
作りました
made. Matt finishes with
本当
really? Another thing to remember about wa and ga is that we cannot use the wa particle with a question word like dare, since we're asking specifically about something that we don't know about, i.e., new information. We need to use ga with the question word. This is commonly used with dare, who, since people tend to be the subjects of sentences. In other questions, we will use other particles. For example, if you want to ask what someone is doing,
何をしていますか
breaking that down,
何
what,
を
the object marking particle,
しています
doing, and finally,
か
the question marking particle. All together, what are you doing? Keep in mind, we can use the wa particle to mark the topic of the question, however, like in the following sentence.
郵便局はどこですか
Breaking that down,
郵便局
post office,
は
the topic marking particle,
どこ
where, then
です
the copula or is, and finally,
か
the question marking particle. Altogether, we're asking, where is the post office? In the question above, the topic, the post office, gives the question context. This is a very common sentence pattern at the N5 level. Topic plus wa plus question word plus desu ka. Can you give it a try? Can you ask, when is lunch? Remember that lunch in Japanese is,
昼ごはん
and when is,
いつ昼ごはんはいつですか
breaking that down,
昼ごはん
lunch,
は
the topic marking particle,
いつ
when, then
です
the copula or is, and finally,
か
the question marking particle. You tells us that her father made the bento. He is the doer of the action. And this is another common use of ga. When we want to specifically and exhaustively mention the doer of an action, we'll use ga. What do I mean by exhaustively? Let's take a look at these two sentences.
中村さんは払いました。中村さんが払いました。
Both of these sentences are correct, but they have slightly different meanings. The first sentence, which uses the wa particle, mentions a doer of the action, the extremely excited Nakamura-san. There may be other people that did this action, though. We just want to mention one of the people that did it. You could directly translate this as for Mr. Nakamura, he paid. The second sentence mentions Nakamura-san exhaustively. He is the one specific person that did the action. A direct translation of this would be, Mr. Nakamura is the one that paid. Let's go back to our two friends for one final exchange.
お父さんがお弁当を作ります。なぜ？お父さんは料理が好きです。
Breaking that down,
お父さん
father,
が
the subject marking particle, the doer in this sentence,
お弁当
bento or boxed lunch, then
を
the object marking particle, and finally,
作ります。
make. All together, you says, My father makes bento. Matt responds with a simple
なぜ？
why. You responds with
お父さん
father,
は
the topic marking particle,
料理
cooking,
が
usually the subject marking particle, but here it marks the object,
好き
liked, and finally,
です。
the copula. All together, she's replying with, My father likes to cook. Literally, as for my father, cooking is liked. When you first mention something, it is marked with the ga particle. This is because it is new information being introduced to the conversation. For any subsequent mentions, you can use the wa particle, except if you want to use ga for emphasis or to show a state. All right, let's check your understanding with a pop quiz. Can you tell me the following in Japanese? Mr. Tanaka came. First mention.
田中さんが来ました。
For Mr. Tanaka came, you would say,
田中さんが来ました。
breaking that down,
田中さん
Mr. Tanaka,
が
the subject marking particle, and finally,
来ました。
the polite past tense of
来る
to come. We use ga because it is the first time we mention Mr. Tanaka, but this could also be used to express the fact that Mr. Tanaka is the one that came, implying that others didn't. It depends on the context. Who bought a book?
誰が本を買いましたか？
For who bought a book, we would say,
誰が本を買いましたか？
breaking that down,
誰
who,
が
the subject marking particle,
本
book,
を
the object marking particle,
買いました。
bought, and finally,
か
the question marking particle. We need to mark
誰
with
が
because we're looking for specific new information. I like pizza.
私はピザが好きです。
And finally, for I like pizza, we would say,
私はピザが好きです。
breaking that down,
私
I,
は
the topic marking particle,
ピザ
pizza,
が
the subject marking particle,
好き
liked, and finally,
です。
to make the statement polite. The ga particle is commonly used to mark preferences. We went over a lot in this video, so let's wrap it all up. The ga particle can be used to mark preferences that we have. For example, when we talk about what we like or what we want to do, we can use the ga particle to express that. I talked a little about the Thai form, which can use the ga particle, but it can also take o, the object marking particle. The ga particle is also used immediately after question words because we're asking about specific new information. The ga particle can also exhaustively point to the doer of the action. For example, Mr. Tanaka is the one that paid. And when we first mention something, we should mark it with the ga particle. After that, we can use the wa particle. That's it for this episode. For notes and more practice with the grammar point, stop by the JLPT Bootcamp courses site. There you can find quizzes, a study guide for this grammar point, audio flashcards for every line of the dialogues, as well as other resources to help you with the N5. You can also get all of your questions answered you might have. Just leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. The JLPT study guide for the N5 is also now available at Amazon. Packed with exercises to help you master all the grammar points needed for the test, this is a must-have study guide for anyone preparing for the N5. It also has reading and listening strategies and practice exercises so you can hone those skills before the exam. Once you've finished the book, there are 3 practice tests to check your level and hundreds of audio flashcards you can use anywhere to review what you've learned. Thanks for watching and hit the subscribe button for more helpful videos like this one.